Pierce Brosnan made an unexpected announcement. The 71-year-old former James Bond expects the worst. At 43, his first wife died of ovarian cancer. At 41, his daughter died of the same ailment. Something happened, forcing him to face his worst fear. Former world's toughest spy faces an unwinnable war. Everyone's apprehensive about his next move. Pierce Brosnan was born in Drogheda, Ireland, on May 16, 1953. He arrived with little: lack of riches, family legacy, and father. Pierce couldn't remember his father, Thomas, a carpenter, nor his voice or presence because he disappeared early in life. He seemed to evaporate. May, his mother, carried the load. A life that was falling apart was held together by her nursing career. She made a difficult choice in 1957. She went to London to work, leaving 4-year-old Pierce in Ireland. She had no choice. Pierce's young world was further harmed by that action. 7 years passed after a brief break. After his grandparents in Navan, he lived with an uncle and aunt in Trim. New rules arrived with each house, new faces and schools. Pierce left too soon to belong. He learnt to observe, stay silent, and survive. He was always the new kid and outcast. Teachers detected something in him. Bright but introverted, he always looked out the window, never present. Everything changed in 1964. He went to Greenock, Scotland at 11. His mother remarried. Her new spouse, William Carmichael, was a factory worker. His kindness and patience. To a boy who had grown up without consistency, this new home brought mixed emotions. Pierce was torn. He was glad and angry to see his mother again. She had a new man in her life, not his father. Still, William tried. Pierce learned to fish, fix things, and trust again from him. He never overdid it. He never replaced anyone. One day William took Pierce to the movies. Goldfinger was released in 1964. Actor Sean Connery shone as James Bond. That night changed everything. Pierce saw Bond beyond a character. He contradicted everything Pierce felt. Strong Bond. Bond was sure. Bond ruled. Pierce wanted to be like that. Pierce took another risk at 16. He dropped out of London school and enrolled at St. Martin's School of Art with no money or plan, just a love of painting. Loved Francis Bacon and Lucian Freud. Back then, he didn't consider acting. His specialty was illustration and design. While his classmates had more money, he lived on toast and tea. He was determined to establish his worth, but fate intervened. Pierce discovered a South London theatrical workshop in 1971 while studying painting. He saw a fire eater perform. Pierce offered to try instead of leaving. One unplanned moment changed his future. The group noted his bravery and natural presence. He joined by invitation. He had never acted before, but now everything clicked. He entered a world of risk and charm like Bond. Pierce joined the Drama Centre London shortly after. From 1973 until 1976, he trained harder than ever. It was tough school. Over 60% of pupils left. Teachers were hard. They deconstructed students to rebuild them. Some quit. Some broke down. Pierce persevered. Worked side jobs. He studied Shakespeare. He learned mime and circus tricks. It cost £1,200 a year, a fortune then. Pierce persevered. He received his first break in 1976 with the stage drama Wait Until Dark. Pierce plays an unsettling character in the thriller. The filmmaker saw a chilly, disturbing side in him. That edge worked. A year later, he played a risky role in Tennessee Williams' The Red Devil Battery Sign. The American play failed, but Pierce revived it in London. Critics lauded his performance. Suddenly, everybody noticed. His next move was filming. He played a blink-and-you-miss-it role in The Mirror Cracked with Elizabeth Taylor in 1980. He appeared for less than 30 seconds. He made £50, but that was a start. That year, he appeared in The Long Good Friday, starring Helen Mirren and Bob Hoskins. His IRA character was insignificant. The film was initially unpopular, but became a cult classic. Pierce gradually worked his way to fame. In 1982, Pierce Brosnan was little known beyond the UK. He has some British TV and stage experience. Then something unexpected happened. He auditioned for a small role on Remington Steele, a new show. Not the lead, but a murder victim. That may have been the last scene. However, NBC's casting director recognized potential. They perceived charisma, screen presence, and magnetism. They called him back for the major role, not a lesser part. That choice changed everything. An experienced 50-year-old American con man was Remington Steele's original plan. In the U.S., Brosnan was 29, young, Irish, and unknown. However, the producers gambled. Many famous Americans auditioned among 200 actors. The part went to Brosnan. His Irish accent nearly cost him the role. Executives worried American viewers wouldn't accept foreign leads. After taking the role, he became Remington Steele. Audiences admired his cool, silky, mysterious style. The show debuted October 1, 1982. NBC's second highest-rated new series was a smash right away. In its first year, 15.6 million people watched weekly. The ride wasn't easy. The show ended in 1986 after 4 seasons. Fans raged. Studio altered its mind. It returned one last time. The final show received over 26 million viewers in February 1987. Most shows just hope for that ending. Remington Steele's advertisement earned NBC nearly $50 million at its height. International revenues grew $200 million. The show broadcast in 80-plus countries. Strange things happened in America. Private detective license applications increased 340% between 1983 and 1987. Brosnan's suave, intelligent persona caused a stir. Success was costly. Critics called Brosnan the next James Bond 2 months after the show premiered. On January 1983, Entertainment Weekly labeled him the most Bond-like actor since Sean Connery. A few months later, Bond producer Albert Covey Broccoli contacted. He watched. It fascinated him. In 1984, speculation exploded. NBC embraced it. Their marketing suggested Brosnan's secret spy persona. TV Guide covered him wondering, the next 007? Anne Fleming, Ian Fleming's widow, publicly stated that Brosnan resembled her husband's Bond. Brosnan was also receiving critical acclaim. His role in Nancy Astor earned him a Golden Globe nomination that year, only his second major TV job. Sir Anthony Hopkins and John Gielgud were his opponents. Still, Brosnan nearly won. Industry insiders say he lost by 3 votes. Even the real Astor family liked his performance, who first opposed the show. His Bond path wasn't easy. Most believe Bond was offered in 1985. Not so. He was considered for the position in 1983 for a murder. Brosnan was ready when Moore was apprehensive about another picture. He met Broccoli on For Your Eyes Only, where Brosnan's wife, Cassandra Harris, had a brief role. "He was my guy if he could act," Broccoli said after one glance. But the studio panicked. Moore was offered almost $3.5 million to return. So Brosnan's shot was delayed again. The 1986 event was worse. No more Remington Steele. The show's ratings rose when it was announced that Brosnan may be Bond. NBC spotted an opening. The cancellation was restored, and a short 5th season ordered. Brosnan was contracted, so he couldn't film Bond. Very cruel. Bond fame hurt him. He was bogged. During Remington Steele's final season, Bond producers moved on. The job went to Timothy Dalton. That moment transformed Brosnan and Bond. Dalton was Brosnan's pal. Though losing the role hurt, He smiled. Bond was darker and grittier with Dalton. Poor results. U.S. box office for License to Kill was $34 million. From the sidelines, Brosnan observed, he realized his contribution may have been different. Fans call 1986 to 1994 the lost years, but Brosnan didn't disappear. He chose wisely. In the 1987 Cold War thriller The Fourth Protocol, he played a British agent. Though not Bond, it was close. He starred in 1986's Nomads, demonstrating his remarkable versatility. He played a graceful tuxedoed hero in Diet Coke ads, a noticeable Bond nod. Late 1970s, Pierce Brosnan met Cassandra Harris. Sandra Colleen Waits, born in Sydney in 1948, was a working actress. The spark was instant when they met. Pierce wasn't looking for love. His only thought was her beauty, but something happened. So they moved in together in Wimbledon. December 27, 1980 was their wedding. This fresh chapter meant everything to Cassandra after a difficult divorce. Charlotte and Christopher were her children from that marriage. Pierce acted immediately. He joined their lives like family. Death of Cassandra's ex-husband, Dermot Harris, from a heart attack. Pierce legally adopted the kids in 1986. His name was taken, but it went beyond papers. After growing up without a father, Pierce dedicated himself to being one. He stated, "I wasn't a father. I was Pierce. Then I became Dad." Pierce and Cassandra had a son in 1983. They named him Sean. They were 5. Life was pleasant and full. The kids got along, and Pierce's profession was advancing. The family comes first. He wanted to show them the affection he never received. He kept them safe, happy, and seen. Something spectacular happened in 1981. Cassandra was cast in Bond for Your Eyes Only. She was a Bond girl before Pierce wanted to be 007. However, Pierce met Bond producer Albert Broccoli while filming. Cassandra trusted him. She pushed him for the role. Broccoli liked Pierce and thought he would be Bond. Remington Steele's contract bound Pierce. He was unfit for the post. Not yet. She desperately wanted that for him, but she never witnessed it. In 1987, everything changed. Cassandra became ill as Pierce filmed The Deceivers in India. They flew home to London. The news was awful. She had ovarian cancer. Not a tiny lump or easy to treat. Was everywhere. The diagnosis was devastating. Pierce stated that we were fighting from the start. 4 years of hell ensued. Cassandra had 8 surgeries. She had 1.5 years of chemotherapy. Her hair fell out. Her body weakened. But she persisted. She questioned every therapy. Self-made decisions. She bravely handled it. Pierce supported her throughout. He considered himself the quiet party, always present but impotent. Sean, their young son, sometimes played doctor. It broke hearts. The same cancer killed Cassandra's mother. Not just terrible luck. It was genetic. That worsened everything. Now they worried about Charlotte. Pierce promoted early screening and awareness. He wanted to help others, but was too late for Cassandra. She died in December 1991. When Pierce was grieving in bed, Cassandra said, "Don't worry, sweetheart. Simply life, winding down." She remained strong till the end. She wanted dignity, not machines or hospitals. Death was her choice. She died December 28, 1991. Her age was 43. Her son Christopher and Pierce were with her. Charlotte, an acting student in London, was on the phone. Christmas was over. Pierce planned a funeral while others celebrated. The hardest part was telling 8-year-old Sean his mother was gone. Pierce suddenly raised 3 kids alone. Sean was 8, Christopher 19, and Charlotte 20. He declared it his first true anguish. It overpowered him, yet he continued. He said Cassandra shaped him. Later, he said, "She's always in me." James Bond finally returned in 1994 with Pierce Brosnan. It was more personal because of his wife, Cassandra Harris. She was a Bond girl in 1981's For Your Eyes Only. She pushed him to do the role again after she got cancer. She wanted him to become 007 before dying. It was more than a victory when he received it. Heartbreak and triumph occurred simultaneously. His GoldenEye debut was crucial for him and the Bond franchise. Director turnover was high, and the budget had risen to $60 million, nearly bankrupt MGM. Bond would have ended immediately if it failed. GoldenEye grossed $353 million globally. One tank chase scene in St. Petersburg cost $8 million. A scary bungee jump off a 220-meter dam in Switzerland was one of Brosnan's 90% stunts. Insurance companies refused to cover it due to its hazard. The film was released exactly 30 years after Diamonds Are Forever, Sean Connery's last Bond film. It was no ordinary film. A resurrection. It works. Because of that, Nintendo made GoldenEye 007. That game revolutionized the business and brought Bond to a new generation. The success continued. Brosnan's following 3 Bond flicks grossed $1.238 billion. With their successes came personal loss. Tomorrow Never Dies hit in 1997 as he was still grieving Cassandra's death 6 years earlier. He poured his pain into the role. Filming a Saigon chase scene cost $12 million. They built a Vietnamese street in England for it. World is insufficient. Bond's longest opening segment was 14 minutes in 1999. It featured Bond's first female foe. Real oil pipeline explosions with 120 gallons of gasoline created 10-mile-wide fireballs. Die Another Day followed in 2002, Bond's 40th anniversary. Almost killed Brosnan. A parasurfing stunt went bad as 30-foot waves dragged him underneath. Hypothermia hospitalized him. In that film, a $300,000 invisible Aston Martin and a 1,000-ton ice mansion in Iceland were presented. Brosnan was more than a box office hit. He won the 1996 Saturn Award for Best Actor. It was amazing since he beat Sean Connery, who was nominated for The Rock the same year. First time a current Bond outperformed a past one. Spielberg called Brosnan after GoldenEye to give him Indiana Jones. To protect Bond, Brosnan declined. That choice likely cost him $50 million, but it demonstrated his dedication to the job. It seemed ideal. 2004 followed. After the Sunset was filmed in the Bahamas. Life was good. He made $1.4 billion in 4 Bond flicks. Training and pitching Bond 21 ideas kept him fit. Then his phone rang at 2:47 p.m. Producers released him. No warning or explanation. The call lasted 47 seconds. James Bond, you were fantastic. Much obliged. Goodbye. The end. It was colder because his films did well. Die Another Day grossed $431.9 million, a Bond movie record. Producers already wanted a younger Bond.